Hello everyone, I hope you're doing okay as you tune into this video. Today I'm tackling the tricky topic of setbacks and counting and analyzing, thinking about, reviewing, going over the setbacks, something that a lot of us fall into the trap of doing. But the paradox is, of course, it can keep everything going that much longer. So that's what I'm talking about. Is it good to analyze, count the number of setbacks you've had, think about the length of the setback, review it, go over it in order to see if you're making progress? That's the temptation, right? Because we're trying to recover here. Let's face it, we want to end the suffering. We're trying to recover, but it's a fine line between wanting to do that, but then taking anxiety seriously, which is the thing we do not want to do. We can't avoid suffering in life. So if we know that stress is going to be a part of life, then it can allow us to relax into our practice. And particularly when we're in those hardest moments in setbacks, particularly during lengthy setbacks. But what I'm recommending here is that you don't get involved in any analysis of it. I've been in a setback for 2 days, or gee, I think it was half a day. It was 5 days long. Because whenever we're in a setback and we start to analyze it, we've already got this lens of the glass half empty. If our stress response is active, our flight or fight response is active, it's going to give us a negative view or a negative take on a setback. Whereas if we were in a otherwise calmer state outside of a setback, we'd look back on the setbacks and probably think, oh yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was at the time. It's always going to feel worse in the moment when we analyze it. So that's the first thing. We don't want to analyze it because we're never going to get a good view on it. The voice of doubt's never going to go, Sam, well, actually, it's fine. You'll be fine. There's no problem with this setback. It's only been 2 days. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You're doing really well. It's only been an hour. Oh, actually, it's only been a week. This is fine. You've only had 3 in the past month. You've only had, I don't know, 10 in the past year. It's never going to give you a positive view. So there's no point getting involved in it. And of course, getting involved in it, we're falling back into the trap of taking anxiety seriously. Remember, we have to allow recovery to happen in its own time because we've all got different levels of tension in the system from years of suffering or years of anxiety. And so we can never compare ourselves to someone else. We can't compare to someone else online, to someone else we know who's recovered. We just have to know that the principles apply equally to all of us, but the length of which they take will differ depending on our circumstances. And we're never going to understand our circumstances versus someone else's. We're just guessing with all that sort of stuff. So the first thing is not to analyze it, because again, we're going to have a glass half empty view of the world when we're in that mode. The other reason is that, we often have good moments. We have lots of success. We have moments of peace, whether it be for a minute, for an hour, for half a day, which we always forget. And we never focus on them when we're in a setback, and we start to think, well, everything has been bad. It's been awful. I've been in this state for days, weeks, months. I never get any relief. But sometimes, again, when we review it, and when I sit down with clients and we review their past situation, their past days, weeks, months, there's been actually lots of moments of peace, which we've overlooked in the setback. And so, again, there's no point in analyzing it because we're getting a distorted, unrealistic view. The third thing is that if we are analyzing setbacks, we're taking them very seriously. We're trying to get rid of them. By analyzing them, we're taking them seriously. We're dreading the next one coming, even if just subtly, even if it's just on a very subtle level. We're like, oh, gee, that was 5 days. I hope it's not going to be 5 days again. We've already slipped back into the mode of taking anxiety seriously. What we're trying to do is move back into the present moment, knowing that life is just a series of moments. That's all it is. And if we can allow every moment to arise, the peace, we don't hold on to the peace either. We don't try and hold on to any peace. We just allow every moment to arise, setback or no setback. Life just becomes life. It's not about setbacks or peace. It's just moving through each moment. And then we forget whether we're in a setback or not. We don't remember whether we came out of one, which is good. The more we talk about it, more we think about it, we make setbacks front and center, and we start to switch on flight or fight mode again. I know it's hard because we want to measure our progress. But again, measuring setbacks, counting the days, all we have to do is acknowledge that we're in a setback. We're in a setback, no problem. We don't need to count days. We don't need to analyze how we feel in it. Anything like that. That just keeps the flight or fight active, the adrenaline going, and then paradoxically the setback going for longer. So all I recommend you do is when you start thinking about setbacks, treat any thoughts about setbacks as just another intrusive thought, as just another anxiety symptom. Because that's exactly what it is. We don't want to give setbacks any special treatment. It's hard, right? Because they get a lot of attention. We talk about them. It's good to know that they're normal, but we don't want to give them any special attention. So again, we just want to move back into the present moment. Whenever we catch ourselves thinking about how long we've been in one, how bad it's been, switch back into allow mode. Go loose, breathe, and get on with your day. Take the suffering with you if you need to. We're not trying to get rid of anything. If we start counting, measuring, analyzing, we're effectively looking for the end date. And that's the opposite of what we're trying to do. Because if you're looking for an end date, we're taking it seriously and we're going back to the fingers crossed approach. Now, no judgment if you do that. I used to do it. It's normal. It's part of the process. But again, we want to firmly put it in the anxiety bucket and treat any thoughts about setbacks as just another symptom and practice with it that way. I hope that makes sense. I wish you all the best. And again, if you've got any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Take care.